What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Resourceful Mofo Show. This is episode 3, I believe.
Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is.
The Resourceful Mofo Train. I am your boy, Jake718.
I'm your boy, Mel Bugs.
And yes, here we are. Sir.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Thank you, sir. I'm
feeling
trying my
good.
best.
Nice.
How you feeling this week?
I'm feeling great. Actually, I gotta get back to the gym. You know what I mean? I've been eating a little crazy, but it's all good. I'm gonna get back to it.
You know, start slow. You know what I mean?
I see the guns.
Crib,
Okay.
You know what I mean? Do some calisthenics. Do a little, 30 to 50 in the morning, 30 to 50 at night.
Okay.
Eat good, drink good. I think it'll all work out.
Yeah, man. I gotta start juicing. I gotta get some of that ginger.
Yeah, I've been juicing the past 3 weeks.
Talk about
Past
that.
3 weeks, I've been going in. I've been getting my beets. I use beets as a base. I like beets. It's good for the blood system. So I'm getting my beets in, carrots, green apples, red apples, bananas, mixing it up, ginger, turmeric. But I've been juicing. It's been working out. Honestly, the other night, it's flu season. I'm fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting my, you know what I mean?
Ditto.
Be on a public subway system, folks sneezing and hawking. So
Yeah, I wash my
doing
hands
the
like a
apple
germaphobe.
cider vinegar, doing the juicing, just a lot of vitamin C, B12 raw pack, vitamin D, all that going hard.
Okay.
You still wake up some mornings like, is it trying to get me?
These germs are getting strong, man. But I see you on your Dr. Sebi. Doing your Sebi
I felt
thing.
kind of skinny the other day.
I haven't had that problem. I don't think I've ever had that problem.
I was a big dude for many years, and I did the whole detox, raw, plant-based dieting, and so sometimes I wake up and it's like, what happened to my body? It disappeared on me. You feel me?
You
Like,
wake up feeling cold. You one of those dudes that's always cold.
Word.
Yeah. I haven't had that problem in a long time.
But it feels good though. I feel more athletic. I'm actually writing a memoir about that process.
Really?
Yeah, so I took a writing class recently, and it was 4 sessions, and I finished the 4 sessions, and I just got to get the work done now, and I'm writing my memoir about my detox process, the reasons for doing that, and we'll definitely go into more detail. I'll, share with the show, share with our fans.
Right.
But I'm writing a memoir. I got tons of footage that I collected because I traveled out of town. I'm from New York, but I went to Texas, got with some experts to help me with my health, and it was a great process.
Yeah, I'm familiar with your whole journey in that aspect. That was amazing. I think you have a lot to share with the people. So
write the memoir, I'm put together the footage, and give it to the people. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot you can share with the people, and we need that. But other than that, man, tell me what's going on in the world.
So I got a lot of notes here in my notepad. Today, it's a lot going on in the world. I want to start off with something simple. One of my favorite shows right now on television is Succession.
Okay.
It's coming to its season finale, right? So it has a kind of cool intro, beat, piano tune. And for the season finale, the creator of the intro with the title sequence reached out to Pusha T to rap over the intro.
Family, fortune, envy, jealousy, privilege, passed on, legacy.
To kind of build momentum, because hip hop is so global. So he recruited Pusha T. The show is Succession. It's about a family that owns a media conglomerate, and it's about who's going to follow in the dad's footsteps, and the children are kind of fighting to get that seat.
I've seen the previews of that show.
Yeah.
And nothing about those previews says Pusha T.
Well, it's about wealth in America. He's a talented artist. I think he can help express through his lyricism the grind to the top.
Okay. Does this show have anything to do with cocaine?
They're the 1%. They get high all day, every day.
Okay, then throw Pusha right in there then.
Okay. Yeah. Throw him right in there. You know what I'm saying? It was released the other day on Spotify. He released a little sample on his Instagram, and it's dope. It was kind of cool. I'm a fan of the show, so anybody who's a fan of Succession look on Spotify or Apple Music Store for the Pusha T Succession remix, I guess you can call it.
You know what I find really interesting about Pusha T? He's an amazing lyricist, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like he's stuck with the same formula forever. I'm your pusher.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
I mean, he's still talking about cocaine. That last album was fire. He had 7 tracks on it. But he's still pushing that cocaine in his lyrics.
Because it's a part of America.
I get that. But if you look at who he is in real life, it's not the same, bro. When he went up to the Breakfast Club and he was talking about how he supported Hillary Clinton, he was actually a part of her campaign trail. I don't get any of that in his lyrics.
I think if you listen closely, you can hear the positive, but he's in the best of both worlds. You know, his brother switched off to being this real positive guy. I believe he was born again Christian. He started doing a lot of philanthropy work, wrote a memoir as well.
Dope.
You know, so that circle is bringing a lot of positive out of Pusha. But then you still have cocaine business runs America. It's infused in the culture. If you watch the show Succession, which is about a 1% media conglomerate, big family, sort of like, you know, the Redstone family a little bit, National Amusement. We don't need to get all into all that. But, you know, it's a social thing. It's what they do. And if you actually check the news on a regular basis, you hear about these Silicon Valley young CEOs overdosing. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Don't get me twisted. It's not a good thing. But it's a part of America's culture, and it is what it is.
I dig it. I just think he is such an interesting person on top of what he's been giving.
Like that.
You know what I mean? And I think it would be dope if he gave that to us in his lyrics a little bit more.
I think a lot of hip hop artists are faking on wax the toughness that they are, or how gangster they are, you know?
Absolutely.
I really do believe that.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's going on in the world this week? Let's talk about, let's go up first with, Google.
Let's talk about it.
So we talked about this last week,
right?
Or the week prior. I talked a little bit about facial recognition technology and how it is, it doesn't recognize brown people, right? Melanated skin. Facial recognition technology is just not in sync with brown faces. For example, there were some issues with it falsely identifying some lawmakers as criminals. I believe they was in California. So you have all these issues, this flawed database of facial technology, right? Facial technology.
Brother's always got to bring it back to the racial.
Because that's where we going with it. Because the fact of the matter is facial recognition technology doesn't recognize brown people. So it's flawed data sets inside the database that create the flow of it. So folks are trying to correct it. Companies like Google, companies like Amazon, companies like IBM, they're going out of their way to fix facial recognition because it's being used more and more.
So wait a minute. Are you saying that Google thinks, well, no, let me rephrase that. The technology that Google is currently trying to deploy thinks all black people look the same? That's what you're saying to me.
Sort of, kind of.
Okay.
You know,
okay, don't tiptoe around it.
You know, artificial intelligence, that industry is dominated by elite college students, predominantly white male developers, companies, and the data collected doesn't include us, this demographic. So peep what happened recently, right? Peep game. So Google recently sent out a team, you know, they hired these little subcontractors. The subcontractors were going out and giving out $5 gift cards to people to participate in a demographic survey and play a selfie game on a phone. No harm, right?
Not at all.
The underlying cause of their mission, was to get facial technology, right? They needed more black and brown faces. So they went out into the public, right? Google management told the contractors, target homeless people. They're less likely to wonder what's going on. They're less likely
to ask questions.
Right? So the contractors, they targeted homeless people, but they also said, you know what, let's get some students, right? Students are a little naive, right? They want a couple of dollars. They need $5. And they also went down to Atlanta to the BET Awards. And they recruited participants to do this demographic survey and to play this selfie game on a phone, unknowingly that the data collected through the selfie game was going into the database to correct the algorithm to fix the facial recognition software.
Okay. So they were trying to, they've recognized there's a problem, right?
Yes, there is a problem.
Okay. And it sounds like they're trying to fix that problem.
They're trying.
Why would they have to go about it so not underhanded, but sneaky kind of, right? Because it sounds to me like they asked people to play a game on their phones, I'm assuming it was.
Yep, follow the dot. Some follow the dot game.
And you had no idea that this thing was capturing your facial expressions, who and what you were, right? Why would they have to go about that in such an underhanded way? Why? What's the big issue?
I'm not really sure why they went about it in an underhanded way, but people are leery about technology,
of course.
Right? Especially
like my pops, he still has a beeper.
Exactly. Black and brown people tend to have certain fears when it comes to like medical experiments and research. You know, folks don't like to go to the doctor so often.
AKA the syphilis experiment. Go on.
Exactly. Historically speaking, we've been tested in trial to all types of ways, right? So you don't necessarily want to voluntarily participate. And then if I am going to participate in a huge company like Google or Amazon or IBM, if I'm going to participate, you better break off some bread, because think about it, right? When people do market research and they have these focus groups, you can get paid $150 to sit down for an hour and talk about your favorite coffee. You can get paid $300 to talk about your favorite soda, to talk about financial management. Individuals get paid a good amount of cash to participate in little 90-minute focus groups. So if I'm going to participate in some type of facial recognition project, which is big data, right? From a big company that's worth trillions, break bread.
I see. That's very interesting. So
break bread.
Because there was this huge trend not too long ago of all of these apps that would turn your face old, turn your face young, turn a man into a woman. You know what I mean? So are we saying that the whole time people were doing this, it could have been a ploy to get as many faces in that database?
Yes. IBM did something similar. So there were reports out earlier this year that IBM took the Flickr database. Flickr is like a free website where you can host photographs to share with family, friends, or as a business with your clients. There's millions of pictures on Flickr. IBM partnered with Flickr. Flickr is owned by Yahoo. Yahoo's starving because they're dying, right? IBM need a couple pictures, break bread. Here you go. So they sent an algorithm to search millions of pictures on Flickr to create new data sets to recognize men, women, black and brown, demographics, because they need the data to correct the algorithm. So another company, underhanded, sneaky.
This is scary.
Yeah.
I find this very, very scary. This is movie worthy. This is the topic of where technology and I guess how we use it, or the morals, right? So there's technology, and then you kind of come up against this line of how are we going to use this technology, and is it going to be used in a moral way, right?
It's all types of laws being broken daily when it comes to wait, I can give you, let's go deeper, right?
But before you move on,
okay,
it's interesting how as this technology advances, immediately we're seeing a possibility of, I would say, a gap when it comes to people of color, black people, whomever, right? There's this gap. So for example, let me ask you, how are they going to use this facial recognition technology? What are they?
So Google specifically said the new Pixel 4 that's coming out, they need to correct the algorithm because the Pixel 4 will be using facial recognition to open your phone and do other tasks.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to get it right.
Okay, I don't believe that.
That's the word on the street.
You're trying to tell me that they're going to spend all that money on facial recognition
Just
technology
for the Pixel 4.
so it can open up my iPhone or the Pixel phone?
You know, Google owns everything. They have Google Maps.
Eh.
They have their parent company, Alphabet, has companies across every market. Alphabet is the parent company of Google. They have companies in artificial intelligence, machine learning, biochemistry, everything. So you just never know where Google is going with this information that they're collecting.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think I might have said it on one of the other podcasts. When it comes down to it, I think Google, Amazon, and Apple are the evil empire, or they have the potential to be the evil empire. So that was
Microsoft's theme in the 90s when they were coming up and they were spanning the world with their technologies. Like, Microsoft, don't be evil, right? Because they had so much power. And now it has changed to Google. And I remember arguing with leaders in the IT market, young guys who just couldn't comprehend that Google would somehow be more powerful than Microsoft. And here we are today. Google, don't be evil. That's where we are with it.
I'm leery of everything. What's that movie? That Sylvester Stallone movie where he's like, "I am the law," and
I don't know.
Listen, he was the judge, the jury, the police, and everything.
Judge Dredd or something.
Judge Dredd. There you go. And he was wrecking shop in the streets.
Yeah.
This is what I see this technology as.
So this technology is distributed in different packages to different institutions. Law enforcement is a big institution that incorporates technology such as facial recognition. So there have been reports that NYPD has databases using facial recognition to, solve crimes. And it has been reported by the NYPD that they have solved thousands of cases using their facial recognition database. I don't know exactly who they purchased their database from, but they are breaking the law in a way. So NYPD, you're supposed to, like, if you get arrested, right? Let's say you stole a cupcake out the store, right? You get arrested for that. You go to court. They find out, he didn't steal the cupcake out the store. Case closed. The mugshot that was taken of you is supposed to be, sealed. That case closed, sealed.
Right.
But NYPD is leaving these case files open and using the mugshots and leaving them in the database. So when new crimes happen or new detectives come along and try and solve crimes, they are using these tools to search for, search databases, and old photographs are coming up of people who are not supposed to be in the system, and it's illegal. It's illegal. Surveillance footage is constantly used and run against these databases to try and identify people and locations.
Yeah, everything we do, there's a camera on every corner.
There's a camera everywhere. And this is an international problem. I don't want to just say New York, because that's where we're from. But, across the pond in London, they have CCTV everywhere. They have databases going through surveillance footage of their CCTV system that's solving crimes. Now, and lawmakers are saying they shouldn't be doing such. And even schools are using facial recognition to do attendance.
Wow.
You walk in the door and the surveillance cameras in the school will scan your face, and that's attendance for the day.
But based on what we said earlier, facial recognition for people of color isn't really...
It's not working well.
It's not working.
Not working well.
So go ahead and skip class. Go ahead. We good.
So
it can't recognize
it. They got to work on that, man. It's a lot of work that needs to be done. And that's why, again, we always talk about it's important for young people to get into the engineering field.
I was just about to go there.
Because it's a male-dominated field. So that's why you have the disparity of not being able to identify women correctly. It's a white male-dominated industry. So now you don't have the people putting together the system being mindful of, black and brown individuals. So, we need more diversity in engineering to solve these problems before they even come to market.
I agree. Something like that, something so huge that affects everyone internationally should not be in the hands of a subset or a small group of engineers.
Yes.
It needs to have the input of every single form of life you can imagine, because I think what we're saying here is everyone has a bias based on where they grew up, how they grew up, the emotions they have towards one group, and they may have towards them. All of that seems to be relevant when you're creating these type of technologies, I would think.
That's a fact.
And that's why you have this problem where I think you said Google tricked people into playing a game so they could get more more recognition of a particular race.
Racial.
That's what we're gonna do. Racial, to get everybody to watch.
But
interesting.
It's real out here. So, be mindful of that. If you search the internet, there's a database. That is on NBC. You can search for the database. I don't have the direct link. I might put it up with the show, but you can search to see if your pictures from Flickr were included in the IBM database. So there is some advocacy going on, right?
Okay. So when it comes down to it, when you see your kids playing with these racial there I go again. Those facial recognition applications, do you feel some type of way? Do you stop them?
I do feel some type of way. And I had some conversations with my sons who are iPhone addicts, and I told them to slow down with downloading every new product that comes out and about scanning their face.
Like I said, I don't have facial recognition on my phone. I thought I was good for at least a decade when I gave up my thumbprint.
Yeah,
but apparently
I don't
not.
even have that. You dig? I got the oldest phone capable of keeping up in today's world.
Beep, beep, beep. That's all of me. I dig it. But listen, it turns out my pops was right. He was like, I don't want to be in anybody's system. I don't want nobody to know where I am. If you need to
there's always data leaks.
Yeah, it's
always
crazy.
A data leak. Watch, we're going to hear before the year is out, especially as the holiday season coming, it's going to be some data leaks, right? An engineering company or contractor working for Google had a data leak. 2 million facial algorithms were stolen.
And that's the thing. I think this technology, I think hackers are always ahead of the curve, because this new technology comes out and security may or may not be the biggest priority when they create these new technologies.
In no market.
No
market, not even in banking.
Yeah, because you have to have a huge problem to put up a lot of money for security, right? How can you justify putting up a lot of money on security of a new technology if you haven't had a problem yet?
Word.
Now, when you have hundreds of millions of people's information somewhere in Ukraine or whoever, North Korea, wherever
Amazon
the hell it may
cloud.
be.
That's
exactly. Now all of a sudden,
everything is in the cloud.
Everything is in the cloud, and no one understands the cloud except for the hackers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a little scary, the world we're in. Who knows? Somebody in a whole nother country.
And Amazon owns the cloud. Amazon is like more than 75%
well, they don't
of the
own
cloud.
the
They
cloud,
are 75%. They are more than 75% of the cloud.
Yeah, they do set the standards.
AWS, Amazon Web Service, provides service to everybody. Government, private.
Absolutely.
Google has their cloud space, but it's nothing compared to Amazon.
Right.
Nothing. I swear, Amazon is more than 75%
Yeah.
of the cloud product.
Yeah. It's amazing how they came up with that. It was a need that they solved for themselves. And then they said, I can make this a product. You have a need for this as well.
Yeah.
I'll sell it to you.
Straight up.
I told you, they
No lie.
are the big bullies on the block right now.
No lie.
You heard
no
it
lie.
here first. Resourceful Mofo.
So yeah, search the database. Make sure your pictures aren't in that IBM database. As far as playing any games in the streets, be mindful. Things you're signing, people using technology, saying it's for a small gift certificate or something. Ask questions. Be mindful.
Yes.
Don't be naive. Protect yourself.
Yeah.
Protect your identity.
But let's keep it honest here. When you have some kind of privacy statement or just whatever it is,
Nobody
and you
reads
nobody reads that.
You just check the box. I know.
Nobody reads that
I
because it's written in like a .0002 font.
It's
I'm
not 12
reading this.
Times New Roman.
I think that needs to stop. It needs to forget all that law jargon.
Yeah.
Nobody's reading that.
Keep it real with me.
I'm keeping it real. I'm not reading that. And I admit I have naively just hit the agree box and kept it pushing.
You ain't never lie. You ain't never lie. All right, what else is really good? Check this out.
Let's talk about it.
So, scrolling social media the other day, and my boy Kanye came up.
Ooh, Mr. West.
Yeah, so
Wake
Kanye.
up, Mr. West.
Here's the question. A year ago, or maybe longer, let's say 2 years ago, Kanye West and Jay-Z had a fallout,
I remember that.
right? And people saw Kanye. He went on this rant. He started canceling shows. He checked himself into the doctor, mental health institution for a few days, said he wasn't well.
Mhm.
And everybody started running down on my boy Kanye. I love Kanye. Kanye's a genius. So everybody started running down on Kanye. Jay-Z and Beyonce released an album. Jay-Z had a few words on a song about Kanye, talking about loyalty and commitment and things like that. So now the media is running with it. Yeah, Kanye's falling off. He's not that guy no more. And it was a lot of negativity around Kanye. Kanye kept going forward, right? Now, I don't support everything he does 100%.
Right.
You dig? Let's get that straight. I have some reservations about Kim Kardashian. You feel me? But that's his
Okay.
wife. He loves her.
Right.
He's happy with her. They got a family. So be it.
I think people really started looking at Kanye crazy with that whole MAGA hat situation. I mean, it's cool if he
Yeah.
likes Trump.
Yeah.
That's on you. But he
But you know,
he was tap dancing a little too hard, in my opinion.
In my opinion, when folks were throwing the black fist up, hating on Trump, talking crazy, I don't think they stopped doing business with Trump and his institutions like his hotels.
Mhm.
You know, Diddy was talking heavy on social media, but did he pull Ciroc out of the Trump hotel line? We don't
I doubt
know
it.
that,
I don't know.
right?
I would doubt it. Why?
right?
I would doubt it.
Trump was that guy in hip hop. You
Listen,
feel me?
you can
Everybody talked about Trump.
You can feel one way politically, but don't be dumb about it. You understand what I'm saying?
I
If
get
you're
it.
making money, why would I stop making money just because I don't like this person? I understand that. It's business.
And I get it.
I mean,
get it.
and that kind of goes to the whole, I'm sorry to cut you off, but when it comes to who you're voting for, when people talk about who you're voting for, listen, I don't care who or what you are. When it comes to voting, I have one question. What have you done for me lately?
You're
and
right
what
about that.
are you going to do for me?
And you're right about that.
Period.
You're right about that. So again, the media slandering Kanye about his Trump involvement, about his concerts being canceled. But at the end of the day, my man Kanye is doing his thing. So he started Sunday service, right?
Mhm.
I think this is his way of kind of reconnecting with the people and doing something good for the community,
Right.
right? He's been traveling across the nation. He's in Wyoming. He's in, wherever. Most recently, he was at HBCU, Howard University, and he gave a little speech before they started service, right? And he's talked about trap music and the theme of that and how that's, it's a brand of negativity.
Okay.
He talked about how people judge him as a Christian and what he's doing with hip hop. And he feels as a Christian, he shouldn't be judged. Right. So he's doing these things and I feel it's very positive. And on top of that, he's on top of the Forbes list. He passed Jay-Z. He's passed Drake. Right. So while he's
That's what the
doing
Adidas,
things-
the sneakers, his sneaker deal is what.
the Yeezys with
Yeah,
Adidas.
the Yeezys.
Adidas is doing very well.
Yeah.
Although we haven't heard a new album, he does drop, little samples here and there. He's still a producer, but I think he's doing very well. He's releasing some of the stress or anxiety that he was dealing with that caused him to have that somewhat breakdown.
Right.
So Kanye's in the community doing the work. Meanwhile, Jay-Z, who everyone was championed during a breakup as being the great guy, is now under scrutiny because of that NFL deal. And we talked about that, right?
So my question here is, has Jay-Z mastered rallying the Black community around some somewhat selfish business moves? Yes. I made it known exactly
So
how I
now,
felt.
are we seeing a changing of the political leadership here?
Mhm.
Jay-Z was once the good guy. He's just
Right.
trying to stay away from Kanye and his craziness. Now Jay-Z's under scrutiny, and you have Kanye doing all these great things, going around the nation with a Sunday service.
Right.
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 And now Jay-Z, is Kanye back in the lead now as far as we like Kanye more than Jay-Z?
I mean, I don't know. That's a tough question. I think being in touch with the people, Kanye West has done amazing with his service, right?
Yeah.
I've heard a couple people say, "Yo, I haven't felt like that in a church setting in a while. It was kind of lit."
Yeah.
I've seen the clips on Instagram. So I think he's always been that person to stay true to what he feels and what he wants to do. So kudos to Kanye. Kudos for the comeback with his Yeezys, because those things are off the chain. Those, they're selling like
Selling off the
hotcakes.
shoe racks all crazy.
Right. So I think in a way, Kanye is starting to change his image and things just by being truthful to himself. Whereas I already let it be known, and I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. But I can't ignore the fact that a couple of his moves kind of seemed to use the community or the people to kind of push his agenda that seems to benefit him and his companies, right?
Facts.
It's like, and obviously the people who follow Jay-Z the most is you have a large following. Well, he has a large following regardless, but he seems to use the Black community to put purpose behind a lot of the moves he makes. And I think people are starting to look like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? Whereas Kanye, like you're saying, he's getting in touch with the people. And he's doing his thing.
So
and
this was a political campaign. I think Kanye is taking the lead.
Kanye's in a good space.
He's getting money, putting in work in the community.
Yeah.
Was good.
I would say
Team Kanye.
Yeah. I would say if we put it in terms of politics, Jay-Z right now would look like the lifelong politician, and Kanye would be on his, who's a good example? I don't know. He would be on his Killer Mike shit. Killer Mike is like, listen, this is what it is. This is what I believe. Like it or not,
Yeah,
I'm going to keep giving it to you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Kanye.
All right, so moving on to more stuff in the news. We spoke on something last week, right? We spoke on there's been deaths associated with vaping.
Put on my tinfoil hat for a second.
Yeah.
Could this be a ploy from the tobacco industry to slow down the vaping industry?
Yeah, get back to the old school 100s.
Exactly.
Get some more green.
Exactly. Because this has had
Get
a
a
lot
pack of Marlboro.
Exactly. Let's get back to the
Camels.
The camel.
So most recently, I came across some information.
Please let me know,
So-
because I'm interested.
Juul is a leader in like the vaping industry, right? They have
Right.
this e-cigarette brand that's been out for some years, like a USB cartridge
Mhm.
looking like. And they've been to blame for, I think it's about 18 deaths of a mysterious lung disease, right? So it's like, okay, what's going on here? We asked, like, is this the big tobacco industry trying to get us to go back to regular cigarettes?
Right.
I think we was right.
I told you, my tin hat.
So what we didn't
foot.
know was that Juul was a percentage was bought by this company called Altria. right? Altria is a parent company of Philip Morris. Philip Morris owns Marlboro and a few other tobacco brands. Philip Morris is like the old big tobacco
boys.
company that came from the R.J. Reynolds brands of Camel and things like that. So
Old money.
old money. So they bought into Juul December 2018. They bought in about 35% of the company.
Mm.
Now, with all this controversy going on, and they saying, you know what, Juul is responsible. Let's fall back from this Juul product. We have something even better for you. The Juul CEO stepped down, and the company Altria, whoever was their chair of some division, is now the CEO of Juul, right? And now Altria has some new, what is it called? IQOS, IQOS is this new safer e-cigarette that's coming out.
See, here's my issue with that. How can they say it's a safer e-cigarette if they haven't told us what the original problem was in the first place?
So I don't know what the original problem is, but this new IQO, it just heats up the tobacco. It doesn't burn it. So now you're getting the same rush as a cigarette, as a tobacco product, but you're not getting as much toxin.
I see. So it isn't exactly vaping. They just figured out a new way to smoke tobacco.
Yes. Yes. So what's interesting is that it launched Friday, October 4th, right? And they put it in Atlanta. Atlanta is the only city that they're focused on right now.
Atlanta seems to be a reoccurring theme.
Atlanta
I wonder
is
why.
the home of where hip hop culture is right now.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean?
It
So
is.
it's like, okay, every time a company has a product, they get hip hop behind it. Like earlier, HBO season finale of a very popular show, but we want even more people to watch it. What are we going to do? We're going to put hip hop on the theme song.
And this goes back to Pusha, right? Let's get Pusha to do our theme song because hip hop sells everything.
Exactly. So we're having trouble in the vaping industry. So let's come out with this new product that we've been working on for decades, and let's release it in the center of where like hip hop is at right now. Atlanta's popping. Atlanta's been that place. And they launched it Friday, October 4th. And they put it inside the Lenox Hill Mall, which is in Buckhead, right? The affluent area of Atlanta. And Friday, October 4th was the day before what? The BET Hip Hop Awards.
Of course. Of course. They can launch entire companies on the backs of hip hop.
That's a fact. That is a fact. So they're focused right now with this one store in Lenox Hill Mall, and it looks like an Apple store. It's like these white, sleek design devices you have to buy for the IQO.
Mm-hmm.
You have to buy like this, like tobacco, look like a cigarette. It's not a cigarette. It's like, I'm gonna put some pictures up.
It's
right?
technology.
So you can see what it looks like.
It's
But
a new
the
technology.
store looks like an Apple store.
Right.
It's supposed to be a luxury brand kind of smoking.
Of course.
All right. So they starting off with this they're starting off in Lenox Hill Mall. Then they're gonna open up another one in another mall in Atlanta, and then they're gonna put these little kiosks around Atlanta. They're really gonna focus on Atlanta, monitor, get the data, and know how they need to distribute. Now, this is not the first in the world because Altria has had this product out in like China, Russia, and other areas. But as far as the United States go, Atlanta's going to be first. So,
okay. So let me get this straight. Vaping, just a little timeline here.
Yeah.
Vaping hits the scene. People are very aware of the effects of smoking tobacco, lung cancer, all types of side effects. Your hair smells bad, your breath smells bad, so on and so forth. Out of the gate comes vaping. None of the side effects, so we know. None of the smell as actually it smells pretty good. It smells like fruity. I get a little offended when someone's vaping and all that smoke comes out behind, and you behind them, and then you get a whiff of it.
Like
you
somebody
like
rolls down a window driving down a highway, and it's like a big cloud comes out.
right.
You're
You like
oh my God.
I don't want that secondhand vaping. Then you like, ooh, pineapple. You know what I mean? So you don't
use
got
that to target the kids.
So you don't have the smell issue, right? Okay. Fast forward. Now all of a sudden, vaping is killing people.
Yeah.
And no one knows why. It's this mysterious
lung disease
that no one has coined just yet. But just know it's for vaping. Well, is it for vaping tobacco?
18
we don't
bodies.
know.
We got
18 bodies. And I think there was like 5 states that have deaths.
So 18 bodies, we need to leave it alone.
Okay.
Right?
No, so now this whole fear-based thing it's shrouded around vaping.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there's a new way to smoke tobacco.
That's a fact.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All of these years, tobacco, just take it the way it is. Vaping comes along, takes a major, I would assume, major share of the business.
Major share of the market. People are not smoking cigarettes anymore.
They're not smoking cigarettes anymore because you have vaping, right?
They have vaping or they're dying.
Right. And then all of a sudden, this mysterious illness comes along with vaping.
The media runs with it.
The media runs with it. Everyone's afraid. And in the same time period, don't worry.
Timing.
We have a new way for you to smoke tobacco that is no longer harmful for you.
Yeah, less toxic, not harmful at all. I'm not going to say it's not harmful at all, but they say less toxin.
Right.
But more interesting to me is that how, hip hop is used to trigger these campaigns.
Right.
And Atlanta is the center. So I'm wondering who's going to jump on the bandwagon as the ambassador of IQOS, because Atlanta's popping. So QC the label, which is in Atlanta, quality control. They have all the top artists, Migos, Cardi B, Baby, Infant, Toddler, whatever their names are, right?
Skr, IQOS.
Who's gonna jump on as the ambassador first?
Whoever. Listen, there's going to be a bag. There's going to be a pretty big bag behind that.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first. Resourceful Mofo, and please get at us. Let us know on Resourceful Mofo on Instagram. Who do you think is going to get that bag, that first bag from IQOS?
Yeah.
Because it's very apparent that they're going to use the hip hop industry to kind of push this thing.
That's
right?
a fact.
They already have their hands in it. So let's see how this plays out. I'm interested.
So yeah, that's a cool little follow-up from last week. So we'll see next week if we got any new updates on that. All right.
Nice. I like that. That was dope, man. This has been amazing.
Good talk today.
This is therapeutic for me.
I've noticed.
If you haven't noticed, this is therapeutic for me. The world
I've noticed
gets at me and everyone in a very strong way. And I like talking to my brother. I like speaking to you guys who support us on YouTube, Instagram, or whatever it is. But listen, this has been beautiful.
No doubt.
Another one.
No,
Resourceful Mofo. Bang, bang, bang.
We out of here. Log on.